Oliveira is plus 185, dude. That is the craziest disrespect I've seen. I don't know. It's the second time in a row they're putting him as underdog.
Yeah.
Technically, I think third time in a row because I think he was likely the underdog versus Islam. Welcome, guys. Insider betting is back. I'm your new host, Adam Fishkin, and I got Jesse Rowe with me today. How's it going, Jesse?
Doing very well. Excited for this historic card and ways of making money on it. That's what I'm excited for.
We're about a 10x this weekend. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen here.
Hell yeah.
Don't
Lots
tell
of
the odds
juice.
makers.
Yeah.
Yeah. We might have to have like a 13 leg parlay going here.
I know.
Just for fun.
Call up
Cool.
Shohei Ohtani's translator and he can give me some advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy. He was found guilty today.
I know. He's negotiating a plea deal, but
Yeah.
he's just
That's
Shohei's fall
crazy.
guy, as everybody on the internet seems to think.
I know because that's why it's crazy because everybody was talking about how he was his fall guy, right? And then
Yeah,
now it's legit.
I know. I
Yeah,
never thought he was, but
of course.
hey,
Yeah.
just use legitimate sites like DraftKings. You don't have to use an illegal sports book. Use a legitimate website.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But anyway, what a better way to kick off insider betting than talking about some fraud related betting.
Yeah, I know, right?
But anyway, UFC 300, massive card. We're starting off hot with Davison Figueiredo and Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
Who do you have for this fight?
This is a fight that was sort of like in the making for a long time, or they've wanted to this fight for a long time. Cody calling out Davison at his last fight was just like a beautiful call out. It was perfect call out. Very excited for this. Figgy is a got minus 305 favorite, and Garbrandt's plus 245. So obviously
Crazy odds.
the odds makers think Figgy is going to win this fight. I gotta say, I think Garbrandt is the more natural bantamweight, and I think that he's actually very good value at plus 245. I'm gonna flip a coin in my head, but I'm landing on Garbrandt just because I can't avoid those odds. He's a former champion too. I mean, and he's looked damn
Yeah,
good in his last couple of fights. And I think Cody's more of a natural bantamweight than Figgy is, so I'll take Garbrandt.
I feel that. I'm 50-50 on the fight as well. My heart tells me Cody. But I have a very similar feeling with this fight and the Gaethje fight. So we'll get into that later. But I don't see Davison getting knocked out, and I think that's the only way Cody wins. And I think if it goes the distance, I still don't think Cody wins in the distance. So for that reason, I'm gonna have to go with Davison.
I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah,
It's just not great odds for me to go on the money line. I'd have to throw it in a parlay or something.
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bobby Green, Jim Miller. We got Bobby at minus 185. We got Jim Miller. He was on 100, 200. Now he's on 300. Could be a beautiful walk-off retirement, or maybe he gets another one after this one. But he's at plus 154. What are your thoughts on this one?
Man, this is another one where I'm like, I really like the odds for the underdog here. I love Bobby Green. I think he just knocked out Grant. No, he just got knocked out. So that's the thing. He was
Yeah,
looking really good again in his last fight before he fought Jalen Turner. He's coming off a pretty bad knockout where he was hit multiple times when he was out cold, and it was a really late stoppage. Very dangerous refereeing, just terrible refereeing at UFC Austin. And I don't know of any fighter at Bobby's age who recovers from getting knocked out like that in any sort of positive way. I think at being a plus 154, the way Jim Miller has looked in the last few times that he's fought, I think that's incredible odds. And I'm taking Jim Miller. I love Bobby Green, but I just think that I don't want to bet on a guy that just got knocked out like that. We just saw what happened to Volk, and at Bobby Green's age, I don't like taking nearly a minus 200. He's minus 185, where Miller is plus 154.
yeah, yeah. I gotta agree with you. I think it sucks because Bobby's a dog, and he's gonna go with the fight. You know, like it's gonna be
Yeah.
a great fight. Coming off a loss with that knockout, I like your Volk example, except I think Bobby's had a lot more time off than Volk had before going into his fight. So I'll give him the benefit of doubt there. But I think Jim Miller's four in his last five fights,
Yeah.
um, winning his last two there. So at 154, I think I got to go with Jim Miller as well.
I
Um,
think those are amazing. Those might be the best odds on this whole card.
yeah, arguably. I think I got one that beats this later on, but we'll get
Okay.
into it.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah. Okay. All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
We got Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. Um, minus 142 for Andrade. We got plus 120 for Rodriguez. I'm gonna start this one. I'm gonna go with Andrade. I like the odds. I think there isn't enough value in Rodriguez. They have very similar records in their last five. In their last five, Andrade is 2 for 5. Rodriguez is 3 out of her last five. They've won, so very similar. They're both coming off of a win. I do think Andrade's got this one.
So I agree with you, and I think that the odds are good enough that you can bet Andrade on the money line straight up if you were to do that. Um, I feel like in her last fight against Mackenzie Dern, she was so much better on the feet. She really dominated Mackenzie Dern on the feet, just kind of pieced her up. And obviously Andrade, she has 2 wins, sandwiching her 3 losses. So she's 2-3. It says here in your notes. It says she's 2-3 in
Yeah,
last.
yeah.
You have to remember in fights like that, those 3 losses are against like top 5, top 10 fighters. So she's fighting the best in her division. So you're going to see that a lot with these top 5 fighters because they're
Of
always
course.
fighting people in the top 5. So you're going to see a lot of them and you're going to think, oh, they're washed up or they're done. Like, no, just look at Dustin Poirier coming off of a loss against Justin Gaethje, and then he he knocks out the rising contender. These people are always fighting in their rankings. So I like Andrade too at minus 142. And but I wouldn't be surprised if Rodriguez wins. It's a coin flip fight, but I like Andrade as well.
I agree. I don't know the odds on this, but I'll toss it out there as well. I don't think it goes to decision either. I think it's going to be. I would go under 2.5. I don't think it's going to be within the first 2 rounds, but definitely, I don't think it goes to decision there. So, I'll toss that out there as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got Moicano versus Turner. Moicano is coming in at plus 195. Turner is minus 238. I have in my notes here, I got Moicano winning. And I think it's just because of the value. I think
Yeah.
at plus 195, I really do see the value there, but I don't like going against Turner. So I might not even bet on this one.
Yeah. For the heavy favorite that Turner is minus 238, I feel like that's kind of a heavy favorite, especially because Moicano is kind of a fan favorite right now. He's a kind of a rising star. He's
Yeah.
very popular on YouTube. Very good personality, great personality. So if he ever goes on a title run, the UFC has gold on their hands because he has great post-fight interviews too. Turner has struggled against grapplers, and Moicano is a grappling heavy fighter. So Turner's going to have to avoid the takedown. Moicano got pieced up a little bit by Drew Dober, so I'm a little bit concerned for him in this fight. So I understand why the odds makers think that Jalen's going to win, because I do think Jalen is a couple levels above Drew Dober. And I'm not going to bet the fight straight up. I would bet on winning method, and I would bet on Jalen Turner TKO. If I were to bet on this fight, that's where I would go, because I don't like minus 238 betting straight up. I would bet on the winning method.
Agreed.
So I'm taking Turner.
You're taking Turner. Yeah. But it doesn't sound like you're going to bet on this one because it's 250-50, eh?
I'd probably throw it in a parlay more than I would bet it straight up.
I agree with that. Anyway, next up we got Sadiq Yusuff versus Diego Lopes. I think Sadiq's got to win this one, considering he's coming off a loss. So I think that aside, plus him being a plus 120, that's some decent value. I don't know if he'll actually win, but I'd probably put my money on him for a decent return there.
I think that you're right on the money there, no pun intended, that he needs this win more than Diego Lopes does, because Sadiq was supposed to beat Edson Barbosa, and he was actually I think he had him in trouble in that first round, and then he ended up losing a tough decision. Diego Lopes is like the rising star in the featherweight division right now. He's been so good in his last few fights. I think Sadiq's going to have his hands full. I think Lopes is just kind of a level above right now, but I think you're getting some pretty good odds. It's a coin flip. I would take Lopes if I were to bet on it, but this is a one
That's
where I
fair.
don't think I'm going to bet anything on it, if I'm being honest.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Next up, we got Holly Holm versus Kayla Harrison. Holly Holm is a heavy, heavy underdog for being such a legend in the game. She's plus 330. Kayla Harrison is minus 425. I think it is very hard to bet against Kayla,
Yeah.
but you have some really good value at Holly Holm there at plus 330.
Yeah, and it's value I'm not going to take. I think she's
Yep.
an underdog for a reason. I just think Kayla Harrison is like an athletic specimen that Holly isn't. I think if Kayla gets this fight to the ground at any point, Holly's in trouble. I think I would consider her an immortal lock, and I would say there's a chance Holly Holm retires after this fight, to be honest, because I don't think that she's got another title run in her. And I have all the respect in the world for Holly. I just think that Kayla Harrison, if she makes weight, that's a big question. If Kayla Harrison can actually make 135 pounds, she's never done it before. She's never fought below 145. It's going to be a brutal weight cut tomorrow morning, or whenever this morning, whenever this is released, Friday morning.
Yeah.
Uh, Kayla
We'll see.
is my lock of the night, but I would only put her in a parlay because the odds are terrible.
Yeah, I feel that. I think if you want to increase your odds a little bit, I'm trying to look this up as we chit chat here. I think it ends in the first. I think there's a chance there. There's a chance I'd bet under 1.5. You get plus 225 there.
That's not bad. Plus
Pretty
225.
decent. It's not
Yeah.
bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And that's just for the fight to go under 1.5 rounds,
Or,
right? So
or,
either
or,
person could win there.
or Kayla by decision, I would consider too, just because she can control Holly the whole fight. So those two options are
Yeah,
there for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I agree with you there. All righty. We got Calvin Catar plus 145. And then we got Aljo minus 175. What's your take there?
Yeah, this is weird because it's Aljo's featherweight debut. I think he's probably more of
Yeah.
a featherweight than he is a bantamweight. But Calvin Ketter is he's a seasoned vet at featherweight. I He's coming off of two losses, it looks like. Am I reading that correctly? Two losses?
I believe so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 losses.
Aljo's coming off of losing to O'Malley. Aljo looks ripped, man. He looks huge in his
Fucking yoke, dude.
bulked up. And yeah, this is another one of those where I feel like if it gets to the ground, like Kayla against Holly, I think Aljo will be pretty dominant. I would consider betting Aljo by decision. I think
Yeah.
would be
I
my
feel
bet.
that. I feel that. Yeah. Yeah. I think I hate going against Calvin. We
Yeah.
especially shout out Mike.
Oh yeah.
He's done some interviews for Inside Fighting very recently. He's good buddies with Calvin. But I think Aljo deserves respect. He lost to Sean O'Malley recently, but O'Malley gave him all the respect in the world because he deserves it. He kept winning up until that O'Malley fight, and I think he's going to be back in the winning column after
Yeah.
this one.
Yep.
Next up we got Alexander Rakic versus Yuri. I think that Yuri's been heavily not undervalued because he's in a minus 105 while Rakic there is at minus 115. But for some reason, what I've been seeing online is nobody really believes in Yuri. But I think he might be the lock of the night. So that's who I might go with. Yeah.
Yuri Prochazka is my favorite UFC fighter. So I'm very happy to hear you say that. He's a real life Mortal Kombat character. He is the most entertaining fighter to watch in the UFC, in my opinion, because the way that he fights is so unique. Nobody does it like him. Rakic is the real deal. He's very good, but I 100% agree with you. I think people are talking about Yuri. Also, the fact that they moved Yuri to the prelims and made room for Bo Nickal, I have my own issues with that. I understand why
Yeah.
they did it. but Yuri should be the opening fight on this card. That's just my personal opinion. I think Yuri is going to be fighting for a title again very, very, very soon. And it's a coin flip fight, but I'm taking Yuri just because I think Yuri is probably one of the top 3 light heavyweights in the division. And if
Yeah,
he's one of the top
yeah,
3 light heavyweights in the division, then he has to win this fight. So I have to take Yuri to win the fight.
I agree. I agree. If I think also like to add on what you said with the title fight, I think if Yuri wins this one, I think he's one, maybe 2 fights away from his next title shot. So I think you're right on the money there as well.
Yeah.
You
It's
got
a
beef
great
with Bo
fight.
Nickal.
It's a very good fight. But yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
This
yeah, yeah.
one.
Let's go into I guess this is the main card here,
This is the
right?
main card. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you got beef with Bo Nickal, UFC superstar, arguably a bigger star on social media.
Yeah.
He's minus 2,100. Crazy odds. He's going up against Cody Brundage, plus 1,100. I think if you don't bet on Bo, you're okay with losing money. But I think that if you want to win some money and you want to, maybe 10x your investment, Cody's a great hemorrhaging play for this card. And I'd probably toss a tenner on him just to see where it goes, but I think Bo's got this one.
Yeah, like if I were betting, I think Bo's going to win the fight for sure. By the way, we've interviewed Cody Brundage a couple times. Super cool dude. Really enjoy talking to that guy. So I'm actually rooting for him to win. I really want him to win
Agreed.
because it would also upset the UFC's plans, and I think that would be kind of hilarious to see Bo Nickal lose after deciding to move him up. I think that would be kind of funny. I like Bo Nickal a lot. I'm not even hating on the guy. I like Bo Nickal. I think he's a good fighter. I think he's going to be a champion one day, most likely. But if I'm betting $100 on this card on other fights, I would just bet $10 on Brundage that I can afford to lose. Because then if he wins, then I can just make back that 100 that I lost. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm
Easily.
making my bets. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
you cannot bet unless you have $2,100 to spare to make 100. I'm not going to touch those odds. I'm never going to do it. I'll just throw them into a parlay. There's no
Yep.
point. So there's absolutely
100%
no
agreed.
point.
100% agreed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do love Bo. I think what
Yeah.
he does online, I wish more fighters did it. I don't know if you saw, did you see his April Fool's post?
No.
He was like, because he's very big online on like the carnivore diet, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, guys, massive announcement, I'm going vegan. And he had like a whole
Oh,
like thing, and he was like
yeah.
going one by one, and then he was like a minute into the video, he was like, nah, I'm kidding.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah. Anyway, this is my favorite pick of the night. We got Charles Oliveira versus Arman. Oliveira is plus 185, dude. That is the craziest disrespect I've seen. I don't know. It's the second time in a row they're putting him as underdog.
Yeah.
Technically, I think third time in a row because I think he was likely the underdog versus Islam.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
But that one I think people were okay with. But these past two, him being the underdog, it's a little disrespectful. I got my money on Charles. I think it's a great investment.
I think it's like we mentioned earlier, if it's not Jim Miller, I would say that this is the best investment on the card to get some underdog value. Yeah, Charles was an underdog against Beneil Dariush. And I remember saying then, I was like, this is crazy. And then what happened? He won in the first round. He TKO'd Beneil in the first round. I don't think he's going to TKO Arman in the first round, but I do think that in any fight Charles Oliveira is fighting that's not against Islam Makhachev, I think he should be a favorite. I think that they're buying into Arman's hype because he's been so dominant. He's coming off of a first-round knockout of Beneil Dariush. But you know who's also coming off of a first-round knockout of Beneil Dariush? Charles Oliveira is, who was just fighting for a title 2 fights ago. So it is crazy, Adam. I couldn't agree with you more. And I would, I'm not going to say bet the house or anything like that. I think Arman has a clear path to victory.
Of course.
But I think Charles, if he gets knocked down in any fight, he has a way out of winning it. He can submit anybody, and I just wouldn't bet against the guy.
Easily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with that one. This is arguably the biggest fight of the night, this next one coming up. I think the UFC, I think Dana believes it's the biggest fight, and I think that's why everyone can't stop talking about it. All the promo I've seen has been about this fight. We got Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. Gaethje's coming in minus 162. Holloway is plus 136. It's the BMF title fight. Badass motherfuckers, both of those guys. I actually, funny story. I was in New York waiting. It was probably like 12:30 at night. I was waiting in line for pizza, and I looked behind me, and about like three people behind me is Justin Gaethje, also waiting for pizza.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah, so we chatted it up for a little bit. But with that being said, I do think that if Gaethje's going to win, I think he'd have to knock out Max Holloway. And I think that we both know that Max doesn't get knocked out. Never happened.
Never been dropped.
Yeah. So plus 136. I think just like Oliveira, I think Holloway is a great play here. But it's a toss up. It's going to be likely the most entertaining fight of the night, but we'll have to wait and see what happens, I guess.
So yeah, this is where I think we're diverging here. I talked to oh my God, what's his name? I just interviewed him the other week. Hold on, this is gonna bother me. Marathon MMA, not a Marathon MMA. He's a coach. I just literally talked to him the other week. This is so annoying, bro. I'm sorry.
Take your time, find the name.
Trey Ogden. I talked to Trey Ogden, who is a coach. He's a huge Charles Oliveira fan, by the way. But we were talking about this fight, and he was saying that Holloway doesn't have the power to beat Gaethje. So if he's going to win, it's going to have to be by decision, because Holloway is just the reason why Holloway didn't fight more at lightweight, because he's tall for featherweight, is that he just doesn't have the power for lightweight. So I agree. I do think that like in the boxing, Holloway is going to have the edge against anybody. But in terms of the power, he's never been dropped, but he's also never faced Justin Gaethje. And Justin Gaethje possesses like that like equalizer.
Yeah, he's got that next level power.
Yeah, he can do it, man. I think Gaethje's I think this might be the first time we see Holloway get dropped. If I could see a bet on that, I would put Holloway getting dropped in this fight. Ooh, I think it's gonna be a very good fight.
Yeah.
But I do think Gaethje is going to win. This was also, so there were rumors this was going to be the main event for a little bit, but they eventually booked Pereira and Hill, but because they couldn't find a good main event for this card.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm taking
Gaethje by TKO is plus 150.
Yeah.
Pretty poor odds on that one. Although I think it can happen. It's just
well, it's respect to Holloway. Odds. It's respect to Holloway for never getting knocked out.
It is.
So.
Yeah. But Holloway to knockout is plus 700.
Yeah,
so if you want to make some money, I don't think it'll happen, but I think it'd be fun.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of those like, hey, bet, throw a little money down, a little sprinkle,
see what happens.
Yeah.
There's always a chance, right?
These are guys that are impossible to bet against, so it's not like I'm betting against anybody. I'm just betting for something to happen in this fight because I really like both of these guys.
Yeah. With this next fight, I almost want to let you pronounce it because I feel like I'm going to butcher it. We got
Zhang Weili versus Yan Xiaonan.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yan is plus 370. Weili is minus 485. I got Weili. I think she's a dog in the cage. I think she's got this one, but yeah, what are your thoughts?
I agree. I mean, I love Zhang Weili. She's one of my favorites in the women's UFC. Jan's getting a little bit undervalued on the odds here. I think that's probably should be a little closer because Jan's very, very good and she possesses like knockout power. She's also like she's like Chun-Li from Mortal Kombat. She's also like a Mortal Kombat character. She has incredible striking. But I like Zhang Weili. I just think she's a complete fighter. I think she's the best women's MMA fighter in the world right now. Without Amanda Nunes in the UFC anymore, I think Zhang Weili is the best women's fighter. And at minus 485, I wouldn't touch it. I'd have to throw it in a parlay. So
yeah, I agree. Okay, time for the main event. Jamal Hill versus Alex Pereira. We got a plus 110 for Hill. Pereira is a minus 130. I honestly, up until like today, I really liked Hill, and I still really do like Hill. But I don't know if you saw that video of Pereira with on the punching machine there, and just like completely destroyed Ngannou's record.
Yeah.
and like the guy didn't even move. Like it looked like he just kind of moved his arm forward. Like there was no. It looked like he didn't even try to put power in it. It was the craziest thing I've seen. Literally that video changed my mind. So I got Pereira winning this one.
I mean, it's fair. I mean, Pereira possesses power unlike any we've ever seen. Other than he possesses heavyweight power, and he could fight at middleweight. It's truly remarkable. Jamal Hill's really good, man, and people forget this. People are disrespecting the guy a lot because I think his online personality can rub some people the wrong way. He's a little bit brash. He'll hype himself up. He'll talk some shit. He's a little bit I just think people kind of get turned off by him a little bit. But he's champ for a reason, and he's knocked out some pretty big names. And this isn't a grappling fight. This is gonna be a stand and bang affair. So I do think it's a coin flip. I think the point of this is that like Pereira can afford to take a punch, whereas Jamal Hill probably can't because of Pereira's power. But I do have questions about Pereira's chin. I wonder if he's hittable, and I think that Jamal Hill is going to find a way to get it done. It really depends on how he looks after his Achilles surgery, because he tore his Achilles playing basketball. So it's like how explosive is he going to be, because he relies on his athleticism a lot. He has weird footwork, so it's kind of debatable whether or not he's going to recover from that. But I just have a feeling that Hill is going to land enough to get Pereira down. I do not think this fight is going to go to decision. I think that this fight will end in a knockout. That would be my bet. If I were to bet anything, I wouldn't bet on a winner. I would bet this fight not going to a decision, ending with a finish.
I agree.
That's what I would do.
But you got to pick one. Who are you going with? Hill?
Hill. I'm taking Hill.
Final answer?
Yeah. I mean, I love Alex Pereira, but I like Jamal Hill too. I mean, he's also from Grand Rapids, Michigan. We're from where my mom is from. So, rest in peace.
Got the hometown love.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. I love Grand Rapids. So.
Yeah, it's tough because Hill, you're right. He's coming off the Achilles, and those leg kicks Pereira throws are insane. So how many can Hill afford is another question. Yeah. Right. How ready is his leg? Right.
That's it. Anyways. I think if his leg is okay, I like Hill. If it's not okay, I'll take Pereira all day. But I'll take Hill.
Hopefully he had Aaron Rodgers' doctor there. He's coming back 9 months in. I think he actually did. I think they have the same doctor.
No, exactly. They have the same doctor. Yeah.
I think you're right, actually. Yeah.
You know what Jamal Hill said?
But
he said, no, Aaron Rodgers had Jamal Hill's doctor. Yeah. I thought that was funny. I thought that was good.
Yeah. No, but anyway, UFC 300. I think it's going to be a card for the ages. We've never seen it done. It makes me even more excited for 400 because I know Dana just steps it up every single time. Yeah. But that's ways away, so I'll focus on this for now. Anyways, that's insider betting. I'm gonna leave it on one parlay. Parlay that I think I would do. Holloway, Oliveira. Holloway plus 136, Oliveira plus 185. That'll give you plus 572. Quick 5x your money, almost 6. I think it's a fun one. Those are also going to be 2 out of probably like top 3 or 4 most fun fights of the night. So make them more fun with the bet on them.
Well, I like it, but since I took Gaethje, I'll do the same one with Oliveira, but I'll replace Holloway with my Jim Miller pick. Just it'll probably be similar odds. I think they have similar odds.
Similar odds. I would argue Oliveira and replace Holloway with Hill, because I think there's also a chance there because Hill's also an underdog and they're very similar in odds as well. So
either one of those.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Bet your money, guys. Go make some. And appreciate you joining me, Jesse. I think it's fun.
Yeah, good job. First time hosting duties. Well done.
Appreciate it, brother.
Yeah.
Let's do it again next week.
Absolutely. All right, bro.